Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today on our little webinar to talk about the new MKE trade platform. My name is Kian Singh, and I'm going to be your host and your speaker for tonight. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to actually talk a little bit about I'm going to just do a demonstration of the platform, this MKE trade platform. Okay, first thing, let me just log out first to show you the starting page, which is the login page itself. Okay. Right. So we have the login page, which is coming up on my screen. Hopefully everyone can see. Okay, so the MK Trade platform will be kind of the one that's replacing the old K Trade platform. For most of you, there's a cutover date of the 26th of April, if I'm not wrong. Okay, the 26th of April, whereby your platform will be switched, or rather you have to use MKE Trade from that date onwards to place your trades. Okay, from that point onwards, which is 26th of April. Okay, so this MKE Trade is just like K Trade in the sense that it is a browser-based trading platform. So you can use your favorite browser to actually start the platform itself or use the platform itself. Okay, so for platforms, basically, all the browsers, right, that you are familiar with, for example, Google Chrome. If you're using Windows 10, then the one that comes with it is called the Edge browser. And if you have installed things like Mozilla Firefox, okay, all these browsers are compatible with the MKE Trade platform. Okay, if you use a Mac OS computer, Apple PC, right, you can use the Safari browser. It's also okay. But of course, you can also install the Google Chrome and the Mozilla Firefox on your Apple PC as well. All right, so those browsers are all applicable or all compatible with the MKE Trade. Should have very little problems in terms of using the platform itself. All right. The web address to go to is basically as highlighted on my web address line, which is www.mketrade.com.sg. So that is the new address. Okay, so last time if you use the K-Trade, the web address is ketrade.com.sg, right? So for now, what you need to do is just add an additional M in front of the K-Trade, and you can get into your MK Trade platform. Okay, as far as I know, I think all of you should be able to access your platform from now onwards, in fact. So if you want to do it, the only thing is that trading wise for some of you only get started on the 26th of April. But if you want to try it before the 26th of April, you can go ahead and actually use it right now. Okay, just go to mktrade.com.sg and you should be able to see this this login page. Okay. All right, so the username and the password will be the same as your K-Trade one for the first time that you are logging in. Okay, if you're not logged in before and this is your first time trying it, then yes, that will be your username and your password. You use back the current K-Trade username and password. Okay, and you type it in like I'm going to do now. Here, so the username and the password. Okay, and then what you do is you press on the login button to get in. Okay, the first thing that for those of you who log in for the first time, I think the first screen that you come to is the one that prompts you to change your password. Okay, so for MK Trade, you need to change your password from your K Trade one, and from that point onwards, subsequently, every time you log into your MK Trade, you'll be using the same username but change to a new password. All right, so that is the first login. Normally, they will prompt you to change the password. Okay, the second screen that you should come to is this one where you are prompted to whether you want to set up your two-factor authentication to get your one-time password. Okay, in the old K-Trade platform, what happens is that if you are using a two-factor login, a 2FA login, you would have to use the token which is provided to press the button in order to get the one-time password. Okay, you'll be glad to know that with MKE Trade, basically there is a new way of doing it. What you need to do is to install a particular application onto your mobile phone, and that application will be the one that generates your one-time password. Okay, further instructions can be found after you press on the setup two-factor authentication. It'll tell you exactly where to get the application, how to install it, and how to set it up so that you can get your one-time password. Okay, all you need to do is just press on this button, set up two-factor authentication, and the instructions will be brought to you, and you'll be able to set it up so that you can get your one-time password to get in. All right. For those of us who don't use it, we will press on this button, continue without two-factor authentication, which I'm going to go to now. Okay, once that is done, of course, the platform will start to load. And after a while, you should be able to see the default layout on your MKE Trade. Okay, so basically, for those of you who have joined us on this webinar, if you have any questions, okay, you can just type into the Q&A tool. Okay, how to find it is that inside your Zoom platform, there should be a set of buttons at the bottom of the screen. One of them is actually called Q&A. Okay, so you can get in there, and then please feel free to type your basically your questions. Okay, and along the way, I will try to answer some of them. Okay, so as we go along. Okay, so as my platform has loaded already, basically this what you're seeing on my screen is actually the default layout, the latest default layout that MKE has actually brought onto the MKE Trade platform itself. Okay, so a bunch of tabs at the top, right? As you can see, a bunch of tabs at the top, starting off with the leftmost one, which is called My Watch List. Okay, so all those top layer or top level tabs. Okay, in MKE terms, this is called a worksheet. So if you are familiar with Excel, right, then you would be familiar with the worksheet tabs, right, on Excel. So this is something very similar. Okay, you have the My Watch List worksheet, then you have My Portfolio worksheet. Okay, so if you click on My Portfolio worksheet, your screen layout will change. Okay, this will show your portfolio tools and so on. All right, then after that, there's the SG Market worksheet. Okay, so this is specifically done, this worksheet is actually specifically for people who trade the Singapore market often, so that it brings you all the tools and the watch list that basically will display Singapore stocks, okay, inclusive of the watch list, okay, market activity, which tells you the top volume and top gainers, okay, quotation widget, as well as the news widget. Okay, the news widget is basically a widget that tells you or this lists out the news that have been released for any stock that you are monitoring. Okay, so if let's say you click on any stock in your watch list, like Keppel Corp, for example, what I do is I click on the stock code, right, and you can see that the news will actually change to display, the chart will actually change to display, okay, the information about the Keppel Corp itself. Okay, so it's very easy to operate. Okay, so that is the SG Market tab. Okay, there's also the Asian Market worksheet. Okay, so if you are not just trading like Singapore, let's say you trade, you know, like for example, Hong Kong, or you trade Shenzhen, or you trade Shanghai, or you trade like Bangkok, or even Bursa Malaysia, right? This is the worksheet for you. This is the one that basically will show you all the different watch lists of stocks that are listed in Hong Kong, as you can see here, and another one that is listed in Bangkok, right? And of course, the third one is all the stocks that are listed in KLSE, or the Malaysian Stock Exchange, as you can see, some of it here. All right. Okay, so these are the Asian market worksheet. Okay, then finally we have the global markets worksheet. Okay, this is specifically done for people who like to trade US markets especially. Right, so we have the 3 US markets, right? It's taking a little while to load, but after a while it should load properly, right? So you got one worksheet for the NYSE, which is the New York Stock Exchange. Sorry, one watch list for the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, and then another watch list should be of the Nasdaq. Okay, still loading. Okay, so New York Stock Exchange and Nasdaq. Okay, because the number of stocks in the watch list is actually pretty long, so it's taking a little while to load on my screen. So this is the Nasdaq watch list. And last but not least, we have one for LSE. So those of you who trade the London Stock Exchange, right, you have a list here of stocks that are listed there in the London Stock Exchange as well. All right, so mostly all the exchanges are here. Okay, besides that, we also have the margin account worksheet. Okay, so if you have a margin account, then this will be the worksheet that will be of particular use to you, because basically it will show you your margin account status, inclusive of your margin holdings, your margin ledger, and so on, right? And last but not least, the last worksheet that we have is called the important links worksheet. Okay, so let me just maybe start off here to explain more in detail what you can find. Okay, so this important links worksheet has several things that are quite useful. So the first one is this one for e-services, right? So if you are familiar with using the K-Trade and trying to actually get your monthly statements from there, right? So you'll be glad to know that the MKE Trade also has this service, basically under important links, and we have this link that says e-services. Okay, so if you click on it, right, you will launch a new browser window, and after a while, you actually will load the e-services portal, where you can actually go and load or retrieve your monthly statements, right? Just hang on for a while, right? So we have the e-statements here. And this is where actually you can get your contract statements, you can get your monthly client statements and all that. You search for it right here. Okay. Other things you can do on this particular portal also is to do the e-form. So for those of you who have, like, for example, client proficiency assessment to fill up, this is where you actually find it. Okay. Risk warning statements, PDPA consent, right? Those are here as well. Okay, even the multi-currency e-pay. So if you have a Maybank account, if you have linked your multi-currency account on Maybank to your trading account, right, then this is where you can actually set it up to link, okay, to link it to your trading account. All right, so paying for or retrieving foreign denominated currencies will be easier for you, right? So that is actually the Maybank e-services portal. Okay, and you can find it under the important links under this link called e-services. Okay, for those of you who like to have a look at our research report that is done by the MKE research team, right? We also have a link here that says research report, basically, and this is actually going to launch your research report portal. So I'm going to show it to you just quickly and briefly. And as you can see, this is the portal where you can retrieve all the research reports that have been written by our research team. Okay, so it's across several countries, not just Singapore. Okay, so some of the countries that we do cover includes Hong Kong, Philippines, and so on. There's a list that's here. Okay, so this list is also used for filtering. So, example, if you're just interested in Singapore reports, then you just click on the Singapore country. And after a while, your display should switch, and then it will show you all the reports of the Singapore market, stocks within the Singapore market itself. And of course, it's in chronological order, meaning to say the latest reports always at the top, followed by less recent ones going down the list. Okay, so this is basically our research report portal. Again, something that is that you are used to using maybe in K-Trade. Sometimes some of you actually go and read the reports itself. Right, so that's under the research report as well. Okay, other things that are useful here includes the some startup guides, for example, the quick start guide here, and also the transition guide. So quick start guide is actually a very brief PDF document for you to get familiar with the interface of your MKE trade. Okay, so there will be some pictures inside there, so a guide to help you do it step by step so that you can get up and running in the fastest possible time, right? The second one is called the transition guide. Okay, the transition guide is meant to actually show you features in K-Trade that you like to use or you've been using for the longest time, and then you like to find out exactly where is it that you can find inside MKE Trade, right? So this is the transition guide, basically to show you features that you used to use in K-Trade. Where can you find it in MKE Trade? Okay, that's why it's called the transition guide, for you to transition smoothly into usage of the MKE Trade. Okay, the last page I want to show you before I move on is this one called the MKE Trade FAQ. Okay, it's under the links as well. So if you click on this, okay, it will actually bring you to the Maybank KBank website, okay, specifically to the MKE Trade FAQ page, right? And here there are a lot of topics that people have been asking questions about, right? So some of these things are actually documented so that it makes it easier for our clients to actually look up some frequently asked questions, of course the answers to them as well, right? So the one that I want to show you though is this one about getting started with the MKE Trade, right? So these are all the topics. What you need to do is just make sure that you select the topic itself and turn the cross into a tick so that you can read the topic information, right? So you can see here the topic getting started with MKE Trade appears at the bottom. You click on the down facing arrow, and here you can read about some questions relating to the interface of the MKE Trade, okay, and some of the terms that we use in MKE Trade nowadays. For example, like worksheet, what does it mean? Okay, what is a widget? What are configuration buttons, and so on and so forth. Okay, so have a read through for those of you who are new. All right, so because some of these things can actually help you get started really faster, much faster in your usage or getting familiar with the MKE Trade itself. All right, then the last question that is on this page, which is what are the counterparty names? Okay, so this is a specific table of codes that later on I will show you actually appears under one of the widgets. Okay, so normally when you place a trade and your trade gets done, there's a counterparty to your trade, right? The counterparty that's opposite of your trade, right? Basically, inside our widget, it will show you as a code number. So the code number, the reference table is actually this table, right? So basically, if you see the reference number 01, it means actually that the counterparty is KGI Fraser Securities Private Limited, is the counterparty that is against your trade. Okay, so this is the table, and you can find this under the important links, and it's under MKE Trade FAQ, right? Okay, so that's the important links worksheet. Okay, so let me just move on back to the my watch list worksheet, which is the first one here. Okay, and it's loading up now. Okay, so this is actually the first worksheet that you see on your default layout, and most likely this will be the one that most of you will be using. Okay, as you can see, this worksheet is actually divided into 4 sections. Okay, you have the top left section, which is actually occupied by the watch list. Okay, and then you have the top right section. Okay, this is actually occupied by 3 other widgets, which is the first one is actually the historical dividends widget. Okay, so this one actually will show you the historical dividends of all the stock that you're monitoring. So in this case, CE6L is actually SIA, right? You can also get an upcoming dividend calendar. Okay, so this one actually shows you the upcoming companies that are actually going to give out dividends or announce dividends soon. Okay, you can see this is there's a date column here, the X date here, as well as the company and of course the exchange and the dividend amount that will be given out. Okay, so this kind of useful information, maybe some of you can make use of it. Okay, we also have the news widget. Okay, so the news widget is one that shows you the news that has been announced for the company that you're monitoring right now. So in this case, it's CE6L, right? So it will show you all the news that has been announced, okay, that announced that to SGX, the exchange, okay, and you can actually read the news by browsing through this list of news here. Okay, some of them actually you can click on. So for example, this one, Singapore Airlines says SI Group passenger capacity for March contracted by 56.3%, right? So what you can do is actually you can click on the title, and you can see a brief description of what the news is all about. Okay, so this is the one type that you can find. Okay, so news that you see that sometimes, you know, you may have to go outside of this MKE trade to go and search, is actually can be found inside your MKE trade here. So there's a lot of this news that's all here. Okay, company reports. You also will be able to get announcements to FGX here also, if there is any, also can be found under this news widget. Okay, next, on the bottom left section, which is the bottom left section here, we have a bunch of widgets as well. So one is called the trades widget. So this is the one that shows you your trade history. Okay, what have you been buying and selling? Okay, those trades that have been done, right? You can list it out here. Okay, under the trades widget. Okay, and you can actually backdate here as well. So good thing about this widget is that you can actually set the date, the starting date for you to actually look back into history, to look at the history of all your trades so far. As you can see, there's a calendar button here which you can click on, and you can set the start date for your browsing as well as your end date for your browsing as well. Okay, so the left side calendar is for the start date, and the right side calendar is for the end date of your history of trades, okay, that you can do here. Some quick links also available. So if you click on the little small arrow pointing down, you can see that you can actually change the start dates to like today. So if you click on today, then there's nothing, because for me there's nothing because I didn't trade today. So you go yesterday also, for me nothing, right? 4 days ago, nothing. Okay, so in case you want to see something that is more in the past, then you click on the calendar and you can actually shift the start date back, let's say in December to today, and you click OK. Then what will happen is that it will list out all your past trades that you did with MKE. Okay, all right. We also have the order pad widget. Okay, the order pad widget is the one where you will see your order status. So if let's say you place a buy order or you place a sell order, right, and then the orders when submitted will be actually listed out here. Okay, and this is where you will do things like, for example, if you want to amend your order, modify your order to say increase the quantity, the number of shares you want to buy, or you want to change the price you want to buy it at. Okay, so this is where you come to, okay, the order pad widget. I'll demonstrate that in a while. I'll do actually actual buy order submission, and then I'll show you the process of actually amending the order as well as cancelling the order as well. All right, so next over here, you have the COS. COS is stand for cost of sales. So it's similar to the KE trade time and sales function. Okay, so if you're looking for your KE trade times and sales, okay, so this is the one that is showing you this. Okay, so times and sales is now known as cost of sales under MKE trade. Okay, you will see the timestamp, okay, the time the trade got done, as well as the price that it was done at, the volume, the number of shares that was traded at this this particular trade, okay, as well as the value. So this means the price times the volume, and you get the value, all right? And under the reason column is that actually telling you whether this price that it was done, is it done under the bid price or is it asking price, all right? So this is the cost of sales widget, also otherwise known as time and sales, right? Then in the middle there is a TAN, or in other words to say it's called trade analysis. Okay, so this is actually similar to the K trade trade summary. Okay, so what it does is that it lists out all the prices that this particular stock has traded at today. All right, so today, hang on, let me just put it back to today. Okay, so these are all the prices that have been traded at today. So it will also show you the number of trades that were done at a particular price, as well as the volume and the trade value as well. How many were done at the bid and how many was done at the ask. Okay, so here, right? And of course you got the value. Value basically means the price times the volume, right? Okay, so all these widgets, as you can see, you can also look back into history. So I'm showing you the values for today. In K trade, you can only see the trade summary for the current day. But in MK trade, actually, you can backdate. It's like 4 days ago. and see what was going on then. Okay, if you want to go even further back in the past, then you use the calendar button again, and you can set the start date or the date that you are looking at. So example, if I wanted to see last week on the 2nd of April, what was the trade summary like? Yeah, then you can actually see it here as well. Let me see, why is that so? Okay. Okay, so you can see here as well. All right, so some of these are all here. Okay, some dates are blank because maybe that's a holiday. All right, that's why you don't see anything. Right, next one over is called the depth. So if you have subscribed to market depth, right, then you will be able to see your market depth, the 20 levels of market depth here under your depth widget. Okay, this is the market depth widget. Okay, the good thing about this market depth widget, right, is that it not only shows you the depth. Okay, let me just expand this a little bit bigger so that you can see the whole thing. Right, it also shows you the last 20 trades, okay, the volume as well as the price that was done. Okay, this is almost similar to your time and sales in a sense. Okay, so you will have the depth, the 20 levels of depth on one side, and here is the last 20 trades and the volume as well as the price that it was done at. Okay, so that's our depth widget. Okay, so anytime you want to expand the widget, let's say the widget seems a bit too small, what you can do is that on the title bar of all the widgets, if you click to any widget, which is the subtabs, right? If you click to any one of them, they all have a title bar. And along the title bar, basically there are a few buttons at the right corner, okay, top right corner. And one of these buttons is actually one that has the two out-facing arrows, right? So if you click on that, actually it's actually to expand the widget so that it occupies more of your screen and you can see more information inside the widget itself. Okay, so that is how you expand, right? If you want to close this widget permanently, there is a cross button. Basically, this is to cross out. Basically, to remove the widget from your screen. So take note that you have to be very careful with the cross button, because after you cross or after you click on the cross, the widget disappears. And in order for you to get it back, you have to reinsert it using another method. Okay, so I'll show you later how to do that. All right, finally, we come to the last section, which is the bottom right section here. There's a chart widget. So the chart widget shows you the charts of your selected stocks, okay? The one that you clicked on in your watch list, right? So all the widgets are on this screen. So even if you go to SG market or you go to Asian market, basically they're all filled up with the same widgets as well. Okay, so you get your watch list, you also get market activity, right? You get your quotation, you get your news, and so on. So I will just start off by talking about my watch list worksheet to tell you a little bit about the first widget that we have. Okay, the first widget that is, I think, the most important widget of them all is the watch list widget. Okay, because I think all of you have watch list. So you'll be glad to know that the watch list will be ported over from KTrade, your KTrade platform, over to MKE Trade. So hopefully none of you will actually experience the fact that there is no watch list that you can look at. Okay, you should be able to see the watch list, and most of it has been ported over from your KE Trade platform itself. Okay, so on your watch list widget, what you will find is that you have some buttons at the top right hand corner. So you have things like load, save, clear, paste, and copy, right? Copy and paste. Okay, so let's focus on the load first. Okay, so the load button is for you to actually load the watch list. So if you click on it, right, you can see there's a list of watch lists. Okay, these are my list of watch lists. Okay, and you can see that for MKE Trade, unlike K Trade, there is no limit in the number of watch lists you can keep. Right, so in K Trade, I think the limit is 10. Okay, so maximum number of watch lists you can have in K Trade is basically 10 watch lists. Okay, but in MKE Trade, you can create as many watch lists as you want, right? And basically, there's no limit, so that's a real advantage, right? As you can see, there's a list here, and besides each item in the list, each watch list in the list, there is also a button that looks like a rubbish bin or trash can. Okay, so this is actually the button. If you click, will actually delete away the watch list from your list of watch lists. Right, so be careful with the trash can. So once you click on it, of course, your watch list will be permanently deleted. So please make sure that you really don't want it before you click on the trash can. Okay. All right, so to load a watch list, you simply click on the name itself. For example, if I wanted to look at SGX listed ETFs, I just simply click on this and your watch list will load. And this is the watch list that shows the listed ETFs that are listed on the Singapore Stock Exchange. All right, that's here. All right, so loading is very simple. This is the button. Okay, there's also a there's also a save button. Okay, the save button is for you to save your watch list to a different name. So example, SGX listed ETF. If I wanted to save it onto another name so that I can make some modifications, what I do is I click on the save button. There's an arrow that's pointing down, and I choose save as. Then I can just simply type, okay, my new SGX ETFs. Okay, so I can do that, and after that I click save, right? And then after this, what you can see is that you will be able to see, okay, so right down here at the bottom of your load list, my new SGX ETF. So you can click on that, load that, and then you can start to, do some modifications here, like delete some of this, ETFs that you're not interested in, right? And keeping the original list intact. All right, so that's one way of doing it. Okay, and the clear button is just to actually clear out your entire watch list to make it blank. Okay, so when you press on the clear button, right, your entire watch list become blank, right? And this is for you to start from scratch so that you can add in some stocks into your blank watch list. Okay, the question now is how do you add in the stock, right? So the way to do it is that you come to the search box and you can actually type the name of the stock to add in. For example, if you know the symbol or you know the stock code, you can type the stock code itself. So like TSLA, right? And this is the Tesla stock. So you'll notice that as I'm typing, it actually produces a list of stocks that basically will conform to the letters that you have typed. Okay, so example TSLA, the first on the list is called Tesla, which is the stock that I'm looking at, right? And the rest are all other suggestions that have the letters TSLA in the name, right? Or inside the code itself, right? Okay, the other way you can do it, of course, is to type in the actual name of the company. Okay, so example, I type TESLA, which is Tesla, and you can see that it's listed here. Okay, the thing is, if let's say, for example, you type already and you can't find it in the short list, okay, as you can see, this list is actually divided into two sections. One says security, the other one says watch list. Okay, the watch list section is basically a section of predefined watch list. That means the platform itself already come with a list of stocks that's predefined. Okay, to show you a little bit about the predefined watch list in a while, let me just focus on the section they call security. All right, so securities means that things like stock, shares, warrants, that kind of things, bonds. All right, and if you can't find what you're looking for in the short list, then what you do is you click on the section title, which is securities, and you will be actually given a longer set of sections for you to search for the thing that you are looking for. Okay, you have various sections like equities, warrants, ETFs, and so on. So if let's say you're looking for equities, then you click on equities, which is stocks and shares, and search for the company that you are looking for to insert into your watch list. Okay, so once you find it, you just click on the name and you'll be added to your watch list. All right, so that's you can see now I've just added TSLA to my watch list. I can go ahead and add some more. Sorry, like AAPL, which is Apple. Okay, maybe Micron Technologies, okay, which is MU. Maybe Taiwan, sorry, Taiwan Semiconductor, which is this one, TSM. Right, you can keep adding. You can even add combine, US stocks with other stocks like Air Asia, for example, which is basically a US stock. Okay, so 5238 or 5099, which is the one I'm looking for, 5099. So I can have the KL stock inside here as well. Okay, I can have other countries like BM, which is basically the Bangkok Expressway and Metro stock, which I can add here as well. Okay, and Singapore stocks as well, C31, let's say CapitaLand. Okay, you keep adding on, okay, to your watch list. All right, and then once you're kind of satisfied with what you have, then you go to the save button to save it. Okay, so you can click on save, and then it'll prompt you for a new name because this is basically a new watch list that's not that you have not loaded. Okay, so you can give some name, my current, whatever you want to say, favorites, FAVS. Okay, and click OK. All right, so now you have a name to your watch list. Okay, my current favorites. All right, and okay, the other thing I like to say about watch list is also like in K trade, right? You notice that there's a rule basically. Your watch list cannot it can only contain a maximum of 49 different stocks or 49 listings. Okay, for the case of MKE trade, there's no limit in terms of how many stocks you can put inside one watch list. Okay, you can go to the hundreds if you want. But please be aware that if it gets beyond, let's say 70 or 100, right, the loading time will be a bit longer. Okay, so take note about that. Okay, so try to keep it not too many inside your one single watch list because then it will take some time to actually load all the stocks out onto your screen. All right, so that is the watch list. All right, let me just show you some other quite interesting things about MKE trade as well. Watch list. So you can also look for predefined watch list. So example, if I wanted to start creating watch list, but I don't want to start from scratch, okay? I don't want to add individual stock. Maybe I want to start off with, let's say, the top 30 most highest market cap stocks in Singapore. So actually there's a predefined watch list to do that. So I'm going to type /, which will basically tell the platform that you're looking for a predefined watch list, and you type SGX. Okay, and you can see here, you start to list out all the predefined watch lists, all those which have / in front. Okay, just nice, there's one that says SGX 30 stock, which is basically the top 30 the highest market cap of stocks in Singapore. Right, so I'm going to click on that, and your display will switch to show you the 30 of these stocks. Okay, and you can see the name here, it still retains the /, right? So this is actually a predefined watch list. Okay, so we can start off with this first, and then after that, maybe you want to add in some more here, or maybe you want to delete away some of them which are not interested in. By all means, you can start with a predefined watch list first, and then you work around it or work with it. All right. So the first step to do is after you loaded a predefined watch list is to save it as your own. Okay. So this is where we will start to use the save as button, and then you will see top 30 SGX stocks. Okay? Top 30 SGX stocks, and then you click OK. Okay, the name of course is up to you to choose, right? It doesn't have to be following mine. Okay, you can use whatever that you want. All right, so from here onwards, then you can start to do things like deleting or adding on to the list that you have preloaded. All right, so there's two ways that you can actually start a brand new watch list. All right, first thing from a blank slate, which is nothing, empty piece of paper. The second way, of course, is to do it based on your predefined watch list. And then from there, you start to work with that by actually adding on to the list or just removing some of them. All right, okay. Let me just look at some of the questions that have been piling up so far. Okay. Okay, when will you be allowed to log in? If I'm not wrong, should be right now. You should be able to log in as soon as today. Okay, so if you can't log in, you should be able to log in because I've been told that you can log in, but you can't trade yet. Okay, you log in to look at your platform, but you can't trade yet. Okay. Okay, in terms of market depth, I already showed you how to do that. So basically what happens is that you will go to your My Watch list, and one of the widgets is called depth. Okay, so this is the market depth widget that we're talking about. So if you have market depth subscribed in K-Trade, you should be able to see the data here. Okay, you should be able to see the top 20 depth here, plus additional feature, which is basically the most recent 20 trades. are done. Why okay, is the tabs at the top are default? If so, why my tabs appeared with few worksheet tabs, and can I change the default tabs as your worksheet? Okay, so if you see something that is different from what you're seeing on my screen, okay, the reason is that this is the latest layout that has been released by MKE Trade. Okay, the MKE Trade people, they have just released a new layout. Okay, your layout could be something that has the name like Quick Trade or something like this. Okay, that is different from mine. Okay, if you want to change it to what looks like mine, the way to do it is in the following way. Okay, so if you go to the top right hand corner of your MKE Trade, okay, there should be a button that looks like three horizontal lines. Okay, this is actually the main menu button, right? So what you do is you click on the main menu button, and then there's an item here that you can click on, which is reset user settings. Okay, so when you click on reset user settings, what will happen is that your MKE Trade will start to reset its layout. Okay, you will log out for a while, then you'll log back in, and your new layout should look something that is similar to mine. Okay, that should help you, I think. Okay, how do I add the name of the stock in the various worksheet? I think what you mean is that basically how to, like, for example, see the news, and do I need to type C31 every time I come to the news or not? Okay, so the good thing about it is you don't really need to. So you can actually load all the stock code to your various widgets simply by going to your watch list and clicking on the stock code. So example, if I wanted to see information about Capital Corp, right, what I do is just click on the BN4, the code on my watch list. I click one time with my left mouse button, and you notice that all the widgets will be starting to load the BN4 information, okay, including the dividends, okay, including dividends and the news as well. Also, you can see that things like cost of sales also will have BN4, which is Capital Corp. Your chart will also show BN4, which is Capital Corp as well. And so this is how you load, okay? So there's no need for you to actually type. Okay, how do we remove stocks from the portfolio which we don't already own? Later on, I'll show you when I get to the portfolio part. Okay. Okay, some of you have stocks that you have sold in your KA trade but still appearing in your portfolio. This is actually some problem with the portfolio widget which we are trying to resolve. Okay, later on let me show you a way to do it manually. Okay, I'll show you when I get there. Okay, your new password for MK Trade will not be used in your K Trade. Okay, so when you change your password, it's only for MK Trade and not for K Trade. Okay, watch list and all that should be under my watch list tab. Okay, my watch list worksheet, and you can click on the load button to actually load all your watch lists. Okay, how to remove stocks from your watch list? Coming to that in a while. Okay, we still cannot trade out lots on MK Trade. You still need to bother your broker. Okay, for mobile phone, right? There is a new application which you can download. Okay, or rather install onto your mobile phone. Okay, it is you have to go to your various app stores. Like if you are using Apple phone, then you have to go to Apple App Store. If you're using Google phones or rather Android phones, then you have to go to Google Play Store. And what you look for is this application that's called MKE Space Trade. Okay, look for that application and you can install it onto your mobile phone. Okay, so the good news is that MKE Trade application is very similar to the current KE Trade one. It looks exactly the same, almost the same. Okay, the way of operation, the interface, all the same. So should not, if you have been using your KE Trade app a lot, then your MKE Trade app should not be anything that is new to you. The only thing different inside the MKE Trade tab is that you get more information. Okay, for example, some of the fundamental details now are actually shown inside your MKE Trade app instead of your KE Trade app. Don't have, right? Can I buy S&P 500 US stocks? Yes, you can. What are the charges? That one, please refer to our website. Basically, the broking charges are all there listed on the website. Please go there and have a look. Okay, so let's move on a little bit more onto the talking about how you can use your watch list to do some other things. Okay, so good thing about our watch list is this. Okay, in K trade, you notice that once you sort, once your watch list is basically sorted based on alphabetical order, right? So, but in MKE trade, the watch list here can be sorted based on any column that you choose. For example, if you wanted to have the top volume on your watch list, okay, so you want to sort the entire watch list based on volume. Okay, so what you do is that you move your cursor to the title, okay, the column title, like I'm pointing to volume right here, and you can click one time. Okay, when you click one time, what will happen is that your volume column, okay, your stocks will be sorted based on the volume itself. Okay, so this little arrow, the blue arrow, is pointing upwards. So it's actually sorting based on ascending order with the smallest volume at the top, followed by bigger volume going down the list. Okay, if you click again, it's going to sort the other way around, this time in descending order. So the biggest volume now is at the top, followed by smaller volumes going down the list, right? So you can sort with any column. So this is to see top volume inside your watch list. You can also see top gainers within your watch list as well by using either the move column or the move percent column. Okay, move percent basically is the movement amount of movement in terms of percent. Okay, and move itself is the dollars and cents, the amount of points move today. All right, so let's choose the move, all right, and click the column title. So now what happens is that it will sort your list based on the movement column. Okay, what you see is the ascending order again. So those we have negative movement for today will be at the top, followed by those that have positive movement at the bottom of the list. Okay, you click again the same column title, you will resort this opposite direction, this time in descending order, meaning to say the ones with the biggest move, positive move, will be at the top of the list. Okay, so you can sort based on any and every column that is here. Okay, so this is something that is useful because basically, you can actually do a top volume check on your watch list instead of doing a top volume with the entire market, right? So this is specific stocks that you are watching. So maybe you want to check out which are the ones that is actually having a lot of volume today. And maybe you can focus on that for that particular trading day. Okay, so this is sorting. The other thing that you can do also with the columns is that you can actually move the columns around. So example, the volume column here, okay, I see that it is too far away from the start, from the left side, because I like to look at the volume first. So I want to move this volume column closer to perhaps the open price, that area. So what I can do is just click and drag. Okay, click, hold on to your mouse button and start dragging your column. Okay, so you can drag your column all the way to the front and just let go. Okay, so now you just move your volume column from just now its original position to your current more preferred position, right? So you can do this with any of your columns as well. So you can do your resorting. All these kinds of customization is possible with MKE Trade. Okay. The other thing I also want to show you is that I'm going to use the horizontal scroll bar. So as you can see, as I'm scrolling towards the right, with my scroll bar, some columns are moving, whereas some columns are not. Okay, this is especially useful when you have a lot of columns and you're trying to refer to something that's on the right side, rightmost column, for example. So you can see that some of the columns here are not moving. So it allows you to keep a reference of the line that you're actually searching for. Okay, if all the columns are shifting to the right, sometimes you may be looking at the wrong line or wrong stock. Okay, so this is pretty helpful as well. All right, to do all these changes in terms of columns that you can add on and all that, there is a special button called configure table button. Okay, so the configure table button is at the top left hand corner, right? This one that I'm pointing to the cursor. So if you click on this, right, you will get this table or this window, and you can see that there are two sides to it. Okay, the left side shows all the columns that are already showing on your watch list. Okay, you divide it into two sections, the fixed column section as well as the visible column section. Okay, the fixed column section is the one where the columns that just now when I scroll horizontally to the right, they are not moving. Okay, so this means they are fixed columns. Okay, the visible columns ones are all those columns that currently when I scroll are moving, right? So these are all the visible columns, those that are already on your watch list. Okay, on the ones that's on the right, the list is on the right side of this window. This one is actually the list of columns that are not being displayed yet. Okay, so let's say you want to display it, right? What you do is you have to select. For example, I want to see basis. Okay, I can select. Or maybe I want to see also PE. I can select that. Maybe I want to see also 52-week high and 52-week low. I can select those. Okay, multi-select. So when you select, the tick will appear beside it. And what you do is that you will actually click on the show, right, to show these columns the next time you look at your watch list. Okay, so I'm going to click on the show button, and these will be added to my visible columns, as you can see here. Okay, so we have basis, PE, 52-week high and low, and they'll be appended to the end of your columns. Okay, but you can also move them up and down by using the move up, move down buttons here as well. Okay, so example, I can move the entire up, move the entire down. If I deselect, I can just click on them to deselect it. Okay, then just move basis, for example, closer to the top, right hand here, so that I can see better. Then after that, I click on save changes. Okay, so when I do that, you notice that now I have the basis that is here as well. All right, and if I scroll toward the right, I can see the 52-week high and low, the P columns, and so on. Okay, so this is how you add more columns to your watch list. Okay, the question now becomes is that, what does all these columns, some of these columns mean, right? So I'm going to show you a very fast way to actually look up this type of information. Okay, so as I told you, right, every widget has a title bar. So along the title bar on the right side, top right hand corner, there are a set of buttons. Okay, all the widgets will have this three-line button, the main menu button, which you can click on. And then there's this thing called Help Center. Okay, so when you click on Help Center, it actually will launch your online help for this application, for this platform. Okay, and the good thing about this is that, there are many topics here of help. But because you click on the main menu help center of your watch list widget, it will actually go to the watch list topic directly, so you don't have to search for it. Okay, and this topic basically will give you enough information on how to configure your watch list. Okay, some step-by-step instructions as well on how you can configure your watch list, so quite useful. So those of you who are new to this can come here and have a look, right? But the more important information is the one topic below that. It's called field definition watch list. Right. So if you click on that topic, what you see is that you have this table. Okay. Fields means the column names. All right. So you give you all the column names, and then after that, beside that, it will tell you the definition of what the column can possibly show and what is the meaning of all the codes inside those columns. right? So example for basis, right? Basis would contain information like CD, that means come dividends, right? Okay, if you look at status, okay, there are some columns that have the word status on it, right? I think so, yeah. Okay, status also very important column to add in because different exchanges, the stocks going in different exchanges have different types of status codes here, which you can also look at. All right, so this is the meaning of all the codes that can appear on your status column. Okay, so feel free to get into your help center. This is especially useful if you are new. Right. The other thing I also want to show you is that under your help center also, right, under the topic help heading, there's something called video tutorials. Okay, so the video tutorials is also useful, okay, because the help center will give you a series of videos, several videos for you to watch, and these videos you can watch over and over again, okay, and the videos actually will help you, okay, will actually teach you how to use the MKE trade platform better, right? So you come to video tutorials, there's a new user training link. You click on that, and then you will launch the video portal. Okay, so it's actually asking me whether I want to resume from where I'm left off or not. So basically this video portal will remember where you last left off. So meaning to say you don't have to sit through all the videos in one go or one shot, right? Because you'll remember where you left off, and then next time you come back in again, you will ask you whether you want to continue from where you left off or not. Okay, so I'm going to click no to show you the entire thing. So when you click no, the starting point will look something like this. Okay, and to get into the video platform, basically what you do is you click on the right pointing arrow here, and it'll show you all the topics. Okay, so these are all the set of videos for you to watch if you want to get a video tutorial of how to use the platform. Okay, so I'm going to show you the first one just for a few seconds. All of them are not longer than 5 minutes at the most, 6 minutes at the longest, right? So 3 minutes or so, right? So you click on the first topic, you will launch the video. Okay, and you can sit through this. Once you're done, you can click on the next to go to the next video, or you can click back to go back to the topic list. Okay, so just go through your videos if you are new. Okay, this is, I think, going to be quite helpful for you to get familiar with the MKE trade platform. Okay, and you can of course exit, okay, to get out of the platform. Right, so this is Help Center, very useful tool. All right, so next thing, to delete your counters from your watch list. Okay, there was a question that asked that. So very simple to delete, right? In MKE trade, in K trade, you used to always use the right click button to do something like that. Okay, you always use the right click on your watch list to delete something from your watch list, or you right click on your watch list to show the historical chart in K trade. Okay, but in MKE trade, the right clicking is no longer being used. If you right click, you get a menu that is not related to the MKE trade platform. It's actually to use for your browser. So don't use the right click. So nowadays the right click is replaced by your list button. Okay, the button in the leftmost column of your watch list. Okay, so example for Samcorp Industries, you move your cursor to the leftmost, you get a button that looks like a circle with 3 dots inside. Okay, this is actually the inline action button, or you can call it the action button to do actions to your counters or whatever. Okay, so you click on this, you'll see there's a menu that appears, and the first item on the menu is remove. Okay, so if you click remove, it's actually going to remove the counter from your watch list. Okay, so I'm just going to click remove, and the Samcorp disappears. Okay, this is how you remove. You want to add in the Samcorp again, just type SEMB CORP, and you will see it, and you can add it back. Okay, so we can add it back. Right. Besides the remove, there's also things like buy, sell. So if you want to buy and sell this stock, you move your cursor to the button, the action button, and then you click on buy or sell. Okay, there's another one called create alert. Okay, so create alert is actually your stock alert. Okay, like in K trade, it's called stock alert. Okay, it's like alert to send you SMS or email when the price of a particular stock reaches a certain value. All right, so same thing here in MKE trade, you can also set up these kinds of alerts. So you can click on create alert, okay, and actually you'll launch this create alert box. Okay, so you will put in the stock code that you click on, and then you can say, okay, what type of activity do I want to be notified about. So I'm going to say last time price, and then equals to, greater than or equal to, what kind of price movement do you want to see. So let's say I say greater than, say put at $6, 600. All right, and I can type in some notes here. Okay, if you want, type some notes. Okay, anything that you want here. And once you're done with this, you can click on the create button to create this new notification rule. Okay, so it's going to appear right at the top here, right? So this is the list of all the notifications that I've created so far, right? And beside each notification, there is a pencil button as well as a trash can button. The trash can button, quite obvious, is to delete away your notification rule. If you don't want it anymore, you click on the trash can to delete. If you click on the pencil button, it's for you to amend, okay, to make changes. Okay, you can make changes here if you want, right? And besides that, there's also the bell button. Okay, the bell button is for you to actually click so that you can turn on or turn off your notification temporarily. So if you click and the bell disappears, it means that you're temporarily disabling the notification. So to enable it back, you click on the bell one more time to re-enable it to show your notifications. All right. So we have code notification. We also have this thing called news notification as well. So instead of just giving you price notification, we also can give you if the news comes out for a particular stock. Okay, for this one, you need to click on the plus button here, and you can type in the security code. Okay, so it can be a US stock also. It can be any stock that you are interested in. So let's do Genting G13, and you can type some notes. So, and then after that, you can click on create to create your widget. Okay, create your news widget. Okay, so this is here, same thing. If you want to click on the trash can to delete it, to edit it, you click on the pencil, and you click on the bell button to temporarily disable. Okay, you click on the bell button, you temporarily disable, and you click again, you temporarily enable. Okay, not temporary, but you enable the notification. Okay, to configure the mode of transmission, okay, so your notification sent to you, is it going to be SMS? Is it going to be by email? Is it going to pop up on your screen? To configure that, to set it up, you have to click on this gear button. After that, you come to the configuration page, and then you have all these modes of transmission, right? So basically, you have things like depth notification. Do I want to have an alert sound? Do I want to have an email notification? Do I want to have an SMS notification? If you want to enable all three, then you have to tick the boxes, right? Just click to tick the boxes. If you want to disable some of them, maybe the alert sound you don't want, you can just untick by clicking again. So no tick means disabled, with a tick means enable. Right? So you can do this for your news notification, code notification, as well as your trade notification. The difference between code notification and trade notification is that code notification doesn't need you to place a trade. All right, so you can have price notification for any stock, but by not placing any trade. Okay, the trade notification is when you place an order and your trade gets done, right? And they send you a notification to indicate to you that the trade is done with the quantity that has been done and so on and so forth, right? And the price that got done at. Okay, that is known as a trade notification. Okay, again, same thing applies. You can say what type, or you can specify what type of alerts that you want to have. So it can be SMS, email, alert sound on your platform, or so on. Okay, so if you choose email notification, you enable, you have to key in your email address in this field, right? So you have to type in your email address here. If you don't type in, if it's blank, basically the system doesn't know where to send the notification to, and you will not receive any notification. All right, that is email, is meant to be sent by email. Okay, SMS also the same thing. You need to add in your mobile number in order for you to get your notification through SMS. Close this down. Okay, let me take some more questions. any way to see the queuing asks and bid volumes at different price? You're asking about market depth, right? So market depth widget is here, right? So the one that I'm pointing to right now. Okay, so this one you need to subscribe. Okay, if you're not subscribing, you only see one level like mine. Okay, so the current level only. Okay, you have another question here about the autosave. Okay, so autosave is on for watch list because basically anytime you add a stock to your watch list, it will automatically save. Right? If you turn your autosave button off like now, like what I'm doing, then you have to physically save using the save button. All right, so that's the meaning of the autosave. Right, so if you delete something from here, let's say I delete SemCorp like just now, and my autosave is off, then I physically manually need to click on the save button to save that change that I've made. But if you turn on the autosave, then whatever changes that you make will be automatically saved to your watch list without you needing to press on the save button. Isn't trade notification default as with K-Trade? Yes, it is default. As you can see, all the modes of delivery is checked. It's actually ticked by default. Okay, it's ticked there and it allows you to actually turn it off if you so choose. That's the reason for the configuration table. Okay, the configuration window just now. Okay, by default, it is actually turned on. So you will receive your notification when the trade is done. So don't worry about that. Can I click on the green buy and sell to do my transaction? Yes, you can. Okay, but the difference is that if you click on the buy and sell buttons at the inside at the top of your screen, right, you will not have the stock code here. You actually have to type in the stock name in order to buy and sell. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate the buy and selling just shortly, so just hang in there for that. Can you directly remove all portfolio from your mobile app? I believe you may be able to do that, but I'm not too sure because I've not used the mobile app in some time, so I can't tell you. I can't answer you definitely. Okay, I'll show you the way that we do it inside your MKE trade platform in a while. Okay, so let's go and talk about buying and selling now. All right, so I'm going to go buy sell demonstration now. So I'm going to take one stock to do that. Let's say this one called ThaiBev. Okay, so I'm going to click on the action button that is beside the stock name ThaiBev, and I'm going to click on the buy. Okay, so when I click on buy, what will happen is that you will see the order ticket, the order submission window appearing. Okay, it will have your account number. So if it's not showing up your account number, you can click on the arrow and choose the account here. So especially for those of you who have more than one account with Maybank Kiming, right, you have to choose the account that you want to trade with. Okay, and beside the account, there's always some star, right? You can see the stars beside here, the star symbol. Okay, if you click on the star symbol, it makes this your default account to use or to display every time you want to buy and sell. Okay, so in my case, this one I've actually clicked to star this one, so this will be my default. Okay, as you can see here, also the ThaiBev stock code is already pre-filled for you because just now you did the buy from the watch list beside the ThaiBev stock itself, the name. So it will show here. Okay, then after that, you get the bid ask prices as well as the bid ask volumes, right? And you'll get your last done price as well, 715, right? Okay, below that, you have your order submission details that you can key in. Okay, the volume here, as you can see, is in terms of number of shares, just like in KE Trade. And you can use your up-down arrows in the field to actually increase or decrease the volume or the number of shares you want to buy. So example, if I click up arrow, you'll give me 100 shares. If I click again, you'll be 200 shares. So to answer some of the questions that you've been asking, so not possible to do odd lots using the MKE trade yet. Okay, so you still need to buy in terms of round lots, minimum lot size. Information is actually shown here in this tab, which is showing the 100 as the security lot size. Okay, so this is the minimum that you can purchase. Okay, minimum lot size. So every time you increment, it will be increments in multiples of this 100, 100, 200, 300, so on. All right, then you come to the order type. Okay, so those of you who have cash accounts, right, you will see it's possible for you to see different types of order types. You have limit, market to limit, and market. Right. If you are not seeing this, it is possible that you are using a margin account or you're using a pre-funded account. So pre-funded and margin accounts, they don't have market and market to limit for the time being. If you are using a cash account but still don't see your market or market to limit, it could be that it is not approved for your account right now. So what you can do is get to your trading rep and ask him to enable for you. Okay, and also he should be able to explain to you what's the difference between your market and market to limit and your limit orders types. Okay, so he should be able to explain to you, and that I'll just leave it to him or her to explain it to you. Right, there's also the limit price. Okay, so limit price is the price that you want to buy the stock at. So I'm just going to reduce this lower because this is a real account. Okay, I don't actually want to buy this. I don't want it to execute. Right. Okay, then you come to lifetime. Okay, lifetime is actually the expiry for your order. Okay, the standard basic one is known as end of day. That means your order will be there until the end of the day before it expires. Right. Okay, for cash accounts and all that, you'll find that you'll have other types of expiry time frames. You got end of day, fill and kill, fill or kill, good till date, and good till maximum. Okay, so we'll use the good till date to demonstrate. Okay, good till date means that you can actually make your order stay on the queue of SGX until a future date. Okay, and once you select good till date, you'll notice that a calendar field appears. Okay, this is to set the expiry date that you want for your order to expire on. Okay, so you click on the calendar button and just choose the date. Okay, so let's say, for example, I want it to expire at the end of the month, 30th. Okay, and you click OK to set the date. So this order will be expired on the 30th of April 2021 instead of end of day. Right, then we have the settlement currency. Okay, so most of the time, if you are trading a Singapore stock, you should show SGD, unless the quotation denomination is like Hong Kong or US dollar, then you will see USD. Right, same thing if you're trading a foreign stock, right? Then let's say a US stock, then your default here should be showing USD. Okay, this is the place that you will specify the currency that you want to settle, right? So let's say, for example, you are buying a US stock, but you want to settle in SGD. So what you need to do is that you need to change from USD to SGD so that we know that you are going to pay with Singapore dollars instead of US dollars, okay, for your US stock. Okay, payment method only for Singapore stocks and only for like cash accounts, right? You have a selection here. Basically, you can have used cash, you can use CPF, or you can use SRS. Okay, if you're using a margin account or pre-funded account, or you're trading a foreign stock, then what you see is only cash. There's no CPF, there's no SRS. Okay, there's also SGX price triggered orders and session triggered order functions for you to choose as well. Okay, so this is also just for the cash account types. Okay, so if you're using like pre-funded accounts or margin account, you will not be able to see this SGX, PTO, or SSO. Okay, if you are using a cash account but still don't see this SGX, PTO, or SSO, it means that it is not approved for your account currently. So you want to get it approved, what you need to do, again, as I said, you have to speak to your trading rep and ask them to approve it for you. Okay, then at that point, they should be able to explain to you what a PTO or SSO is all about. All right, so please take note of that. Okay, after you fill up all this, we're going to just key in our password. So this password is the same as the login password you use. Right, and then you're going to click on the place by order. Right, and then you get a confirmation window, just like in K-Trade. Okay, this is for you to check to make sure that whatever you key in here is correct. Right, if it's okay, you click OK. If it's wrong, you click cancel. You'll be brought back to the order ticket to make your corrections. All right, so I'm going to click OK. Okay, so the order has been submitted. And if you look at the order pad widget, which is here, you should see it listed out here. Okay, so you can see that one line will show my account number, the order number, the code, and the status. Okay, it says here queuing. All right, you can make this window bigger. Okay, and you can see more information. Example, you can see things like the order type is buy, right? And basically the order price is 705. The volume that I want to buy is 200, and so on. Okay, lifetime is good till date. When will be the expiry date, and so on. Okay, all displayed here. Okay, you can actually enlarge the column by just shifting, just like in Excel. You can see more. All right, and if you scroll out towards the right side, some more, you can see some other information as well. Okay, so for example, the amended date. Okay, that's all that, all shown here. All right, so this is your order status, also known as order pad in MKE trade. Okay, so this order pad is also used to actually do things like amending your order. If you need to change your order in some way, all right, so you use the order pad widget to help you do that. So to do that, what you do is you come to the action button that is next to the order that you want to change. Okay, sometimes you may have more than one order here. If you have more than one order, of course, you have a list of orders inside the order pad page, right? But for now, I only have one order. So all of these orders will have an action button beside it for you to do some changes. So you click on the action button, there will be a amend item. Okay, so you click amend. What happens? It will bring you back to the order ticket, and the three things that you can do with amendments. First thing, you can increase or decrease the order volume or the number of shares to buy. I'm going to reduce. You can also change the price that you want to place your trade at. Okay, so the place to buy at 71 instead of 705, you can change the price. You can also change the lifetime. Okay, you can change the expiry date as well. So now I changed my mind. I decided to use end of day. So I can just click on the lifetime and change to end of day. Then after that, once you made your amendments, you can actually type in your password again. And you can click on the amend buy order button. Okay, again, it will ask you to confirm with the confirmation window that everything that you typed here is correct. If it is okay, you click OK. If not, click cancel to make a correction. So I'm going to click OK. And it has been amended. Okay, if you're not sure, you can actually have a look. Okay, again, you can expand to have a look at the changes. So now the order volume is down to 100. The price used to be 705, now it's 710. Right? Your amended timing, okay, the amended timing, as you can see, is a current time, not the creation time. So it's 8:48 here. All right, so you can see the order ticket here. And if you want to delete off the order, that means you change your mind, you totally don't want to buy anymore, you want to cancel the order. So what you can do is, again, come to the action button, click on it, and click on the cancel. Okay, so for cancellation, very simple. All you need to do is just key in your password, and that's it. And then after that, you click on the yes to cancel, and you can see that the status now changes to cancel. All right, directly to cancel. Okay, if your trade is done, you can see it under the trades widget. Okay, so I'm going to show you some trades that I've done. Okay, so I'm going to just enter here. I can see all the trades that I've done so far based on the date. Okay, so you can change the date to see further back in history. Okay, and you can expand it so that you can see more. All right, so these are some of the trades that were done over a period of time from 8th of December to 14th of April. Okay, and all the trades are all registered here. Okay, even if your trade happens to be a partial fail. Okay, so like example, for the Thai BEV that I did on the 5th of April, I actually placed a single order of 4,000 to buy, right? But the trade got done partially. Okay, partial fill two times. The first partial fill was done at 900, so 900 volume, and the second partial fill was done at 3,100. All right. So even though you place a single order, sometimes your trade history will actually reflect two trades because it's done partially, right, to fulfill your entire single order of 4,000 in my example. All right. So here's all here, right? Yeah. Okay. So this is the trade widget where you see your trades done. Okay, so that is basically the few things that you can do on your MK trade. Cost of sales I already showed you. Trade analysis also is basically trade summary. Okay, and the last thing I want to show you for, or rather I will show you before I move on to your portfolio, or maybe I should go to portfolio first. Okay, let me go to portfolio first. Okay, so under my portfolio, there's the next worksheet over. We have this, which shows you the portfolio of all the trades that you have done with MKE. Okay, all the trades that you've done in MKE here. Right, so there are three formats that you can show. This is a list format, which is the middle button right here in the center. You can also show it in the slide pie chart format. Okay, so if you click on the pie chart format, what it's going to show you is that it's going to show you all the counters and its overall weight in your portfolio. Weight means how much exposure or how much percent is it occupying in your entire portfolio. As you can see, as I move my cursor around the pie chart, you can see the percentage. Okay, my ES3 is 17.49 of my entire holdings, right? Right, and so on. Okay, Suntec T82U is about 6.82 of my entire holdings, and so on. Okay, so it's all written out here. Okay, this is the pie chart format. Okay, the other format that you can see, of course, is the tiling format, this tile format. Okay, so the tile format are useful when you want to quickly buy sell. Okay, because all of them have the bid ask prices here. Okay, so example, if I wanted to, you know, EC World REIT, I wanted to sell, I click on the bid price, the green color one. If I wanted to buy, I click on the asking price or the red color one. Okay, so if I click on the price itself, you get the order ticket coming out here like that, as if to allow you to buy and sell. Okay, you still can change the price. Okay, you don't have to use the limit price at 74. You can actually reduce it. Okay, no need to follow what is displayed here as the asking price. Okay, you can actually change it now. Okay, okay, let me go back to the list again. All right, so this is the portfolio. You can see the columns like unrealized P&L and so on and so forth. Okay, the unrealized P&L here, unlike K-Trade, is actually updated real time. So meaning to say, if let's say today you happen to buy Thai Bev like I did, okay, you managed to buy Thai Bev, and I already have Thai Bev inside my portfolio. So what will happen is that immediately the realized P&L will reflect the new holdings, okay, the add-on number. Okay, so last time maybe I have 4,000 shares, then now I buy an additional 4,000. So the total holdings I will have is 8,000, right? So 8,000, the P&L will be reflecting the 8,000 immediately, okay, after doing the averaging of pricing and of course the volume weighted average of your total holdings, and the unrealized P&L will be calculated based on that. You don't have to wait until the next day, like in K-Trade, to see your unrealized P&L. Okay, it will be shown real time. All right. All right. So that's your portfolio. Okay, then we have your contract notes widget. So this is portfolio widget. Then we have the contract notes widget. So contract notes widget basically consists of three sections. Okay, three items here that you can choose. Right, we have the transactions, right, section, transactions information, which basically shows you a history of all the transactions that you've done with Maybank Kim Eng, right? And it's basically like a trade history, okay? And you can actually go here and select how far back you want to see, up to 2 years for your predefined duration. If this is too, if this is, let's say, too close and you want to go further back, you can use the calendar. Okay, so you can click on the calendar and you can choose your starting date where you want to see the history going all the way back to as far as you have history with Maybank Kim Eng, right? So you can just click on here to change the date backwards. all the way back to where you want to get started looking at your trade history. All right, so that is your calendar button. And when you click on that, you will start to change. All right. The other thing that you can see also is the contract notes. Okay, so contract notes is basically the, let's say for example you buy Thai Bev and it's still within your contract period. Okay, you actually list out here as a contract note, and it will show you the amount that you have to pay inclusive of your commissions. All right, so and the due date that you have to settle the trade, okay, with MKE. Right, due date is here. You also will see the average price as well as the contract amount, okay, the amount of that you need to pay. Right, it's all here. To make it easier for you to see, you can use the expansion button to click, and you can see all the settlement currency and so on all here. All right. All right, then besides that, we also have this thing called manual entry. Okay, so we have a manual entry here. And so example, if let's say some of you may have, for example, a stock that you know you have sold already, but still appears inside your portfolio, right? So example, like this one called KS Energy, okay? So what you can do is that you can click on new transaction, right? And then you type in the stock code, okay? Select, and this time you click sell. Okay, the date, you can choose whichever date you want. The volume will be the same as what's in your holdings, example. Okay, so I'm going to put 3,000. Sorry. Okay, and the price, whatever price that you want to set. Okay, so whatever price that you sold it at previously. So let's say I put it at 0.68 up. Okay, and then you'll calculate out the value for you, and you want to say this is an offset manual entry, just to give yourself a note, and you click OK. Okay, so okay, then this what will happen is that on the following day, you will notice that the manual entry will take effect, and you should be able to see that your stock portfolio should be updated. I hope so, right? I hope so. Or maybe I can ask Wenhui. Wenhui, do you know whether this is the case? Okay, I'll come back to this again. Basically, we can just use a manual entry to try to offset what is already there on your portfolio. So things that you have clearly sold away, but it's still appearing in your portfolio, right? We can use a manual entry to try and do that. Okay, so I've seen that I tried to do that. Okay, right here, the last one, but it's not actually reflecting on my portfolio at the moment. It could be that tomorrow then it will reflect. Okay, so have a look at that tomorrow and have a see. Right. Okay, so that's manual entry. Okay, OS contract. OS contract is basically like your contract notes. It's just showing you if you bought or sold anything, what will be the settlement amount, and when will be the due date for you to pay for it or receive payment. Okay, so that is under your portfolio tab. All right, let's go on to the charting platform. Okay, so here is the charting platform that we have on MKE Trade. Okay, and then to load any stock to see the chart, what you do is you go to one of the watch lists and you simply click on the stock code. Okay, so example, if I wanted to see CapitaLand, I just click on C31 and your chart will start to change and load the C31 counter on your charts here. Okay, normally the size of the chart at this is actually a bit small, so I need to actually increase the size by using the expansion button, okay, on the title bar, which is here, and you can actually expand the chart itself. All right, so your chart on your platform may look different from mine because I've added in some indicators already. So in order for you to just to get familiar with this, let me just show you around. Okay, first thing, the chart to zoom in and zoom out. Okay, very easy. You just use your mouse wheel. So when you scroll, when you rotate the mouse wheel upwards, you're actually zooming in. When you rotate the mouse wheel downwards, you're actually zooming out. Okay, so zoom in, zoom out is quite simple. Using your mouse wheel to scroll in and scroll out, you can zoom in, zoom out. All right. You can also use the scale. Okay, the scale at the bottom, the time scale, the x-axis time scale. If you move your cursor onto the months and the dates, you can actually click and drag. Okay, so if you click and drag, you drag by clicking down and holding your mouse cursor down, and then you can drag your scale. Because this is another way you can zoom in and zoom out horizontally. Okay, at the bottom of your charts also there are some buttons. When you move your mouse over, you can see there's a plus button to zoom in also, and a minus button to zoom out. Okay, so this is how you can zoom in, zoom out. Okay, on here there's a reload button which actually will reset your zoom factor to the default one, which is this, right? So all here as well. Okay, moving your charts left and right. Okay, there are two ways. One way is to actually take your cursor and place it on top of a blank area on your chart. Left click and drag the entire chart to the right or to the left. Okay, you can actually move your chart left to right. Okay, or you can use the right arrow or left arrow to move it to the right and left as well. Okay, scroll left and right. Okay, okay. There's also ways to make your candle look taller or shorter. Okay, this way you have to use the price scale, which is the y-axis. Okay, again, what you do is you left click on the price axis and you drag to make the drag down to make the candle shorter, drag up to make the candles taller. Okay, and then if you want to reset the scale, again, you come back here to the reset button, which is at the bottom here. You can reset and your price scale will be back to normal. Okay. All right. So this is to zoom in, zoom out. Okay. If you want to change the time frame of your charts, okay. So there's a D, the button that shows D right now. D stands for daily chart. So all your candles are 1 day in duration. Okay. So every day one candle. This is the meaning of daily chart. Okay, if you click on the D itself, you can see that it exposes a menu of all the different time frames that you can use, from as low as 1 minute, that means every candle, one candle every minute, intraday time frame, to as much as 12 months. 12 months will be a yearly candle, every year one candle. Okay, so if you click on 12 months, okay, we will get like this. So every candle here is the duration is actually 1 year. Okay, then you have things like 3 months, which is basically a quarter. And you have 1 month, which is basically every month, one candle. Okay. Okay, we're going back to the daily chart again to show you this. All right. Then also the format of display. So I'm showing you candles. Okay, by default, it will show you an area kind of display. Okay, so the candlestick format is the button you can click here, and you can change to, for example, bars of candles, hollow candles, line, area, and so on. Okay, if you click bars, then of course you're changing it to bar display, just like this. If you click on area, this is the default one that you see. Okay, so normally most people will choose candles, right? And then we can also configure the color of our candles as well, and also the color of our background of the chart. Okay, so what you do is you come to the gear button, which says chart properties. Okay, click on it, and this is where you can configure your style. Okay, so the candle colors. So the left color will be the bullish candle color, the right color will be the bearish window color. Okay, so if you click on the green, you can actually change your color to some other color. Example, if you want to change it to all white, you can do it. All white, and you click OK. You can see that your bullish colors are all changing to white color, like mine, right? Okay, or you can choose a green color. Okay, just choose one green color, then all your candles will be changed to green color. You can change the border colors as well as the wick colors as well. Okay, background color can change also under the background tab. Okay, so you can change the background to some other color that you prefer, right? That you can change, you can choose from here. Right, once you're done, you can click OK, and that's how you configure your charts. Right. In terms of indicators, right? So we have indicator library. Okay, you can click on the indicator button here, and you can see that there's a whole library of a lot of indicators. It's actually quite an extensive library of indicators that you can add. All right. So example, if I wanted to add moving averages, so what I do is I just search for MA. Okay, I just type MA, and you can see it's a list of all the moving averages that will appear here. Okay, so just choose the one that you want. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to choose exponential moving average. Okay, so I'm going to search for moving average exponential. I click on it, and you'll notice that one more moving average has been added to my list of moving averages. Okay, this one is the 9 by default. Okay, 9 period moving average. All right, so once you're done with this, you can click on the close button to close it. And to configure your indicators, so all your indicators will be showing up here or listed out at the top left-hand corner of your chart. Okay, and as you move your cursor on top of the indicator names, you notice there are some buttons that will appear. Okay, there are 3 buttons that you can see. The rightmost one is to delete away that indicator so that you can get rid from your chart. Okay, the leftmost one is to hide or display. Okay, so if you click one time, you will hide it temporarily. If you click again, you will start to display it again. Okay, and the middle one is for you to format or to set the parameters of your indicator, inclusive of color and line thickness and so on. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to format the indicator itself. So I'm going to click, and you can see that it actually will show your inputs. Okay, inputs meaning to say how many candles are you averaging. Okay, what's your period for average. Okay, so in this case, maybe I want to set 30. Okay, a 30 candle average, okay, or 30 period average. Okay, you can also choose the price information to average. Okay, most of the time for most other platforms, it default to close, right? But for MKE Trade, the trading platform, you can actually choose which price information you want to average. So, like for example, you can average the high price instead of the close price. You can average the low price instead of the close price, and so on. So choose your source, okay, for averaging. And you can also go to style, and you can actually change the colors. So example, if I were to change, I would want this color, which is a little bit too dull, I can just click on it and I can choose a different color. So let me just choose yellow. No, let's not you choose yellow. Let's choose, for example, orange. Okay, I can choose the orange color, and I can also make the line thicker. So I can make it thicker and thicker, so that you can increase the thickness of the line. Okay, let's say I choose this thickness. Okay, I can choose the type of line to draw. So it includes things like circle, which ends up like this. Okay, everything can be configured from this format button, and you click OK when you're done. Okay, so that's the adding of a indicator. So you can add on things like MACD, you can add on, for example, stochastics or RSI. So I'm going to type RSI to add in a RSI indicator at the bottom of my screen. So I click RSI, you'll notice that it appears at the bottom now. So this is the RSI display. I know it's a little bit hard to see because of the background and so on. So this is where you start to do your configuration. Okay, so click on the format button again. Okay, and plot. Okay, plot meaning to say the RSI line itself. Maybe I choose yellow so that it's brighter. Okay, maybe I can increase the thickness of it as well. Okay, so it allows you to do things like your upper limit. So overbought level, what should it be? Okay, should it be 70? Some of you prefer to use 80 or whatever. So the overbought, oversold levels are the gray lines that you see, like horizontal lines on the chart itself, on the indicator window itself. Okay, that is the overbought, oversold lines. You can make it thicker, right? So that it's more prominent. You can change the color so that it's brighter, so that you can see it better, right? Okay, and you find that the background is a little bit annoying, you can actually turn it off or change color. I'm going to turn it off so that it just is a black background, so I don't get distracted by the background of the RSI indicator. Okay, so that's how I create or I include my RSI here, and I click OK to actually get rid of the formatting setup box or window. Okay, so I've added in several indicators with the thing. Okay, so then after you've added all your indicators and you're kind of like, like the configuration, the next thing to do is to save it under a template name. Okay, to save it under a template name, you click on the save button by click on the down arrow and click as save as, and you can type in a name for this template. So example, I will call this OBOS, overbought, oversold. OBOS, or you can just type the entire word overbought, oversold. Okay, so I've just typed OBOS, short form for overbought, oversold, and click OK. Okay, what's happened is that if you click on load again, you'll find that it's already been saved. OBOS is there. Okay, you also remember the stock that you used to configure it. Okay, but don't worry, all your lines and everything will be saved to the stock itself. Okay, so it's not based on the template. Okay, so it's based on the stock chart itself. Everything will be saved inside the single stock chart itself, and everything that you added will overwrite the records of the previous one. All right, okay, so that's how you save the template. Okay, next thing I'm going to show you is that I'm going to show you how to draw some lines on your chart. Okay, so example, this is CapitaLand, right? So there's been some corporate action going on relating to, delisting the actual CapitaLand and so on and so forth. So I'm going to just put in some lines to draw in the support resistance areas and so on. Okay, so normally the drawing tools are found under, it's actually hidden right now, but if you click on the little arrow by the side, right, the left edge of your chart, you're going to expose the drawing tools menu. Okay, the drawing tools toolbar, right? And one of the most important things that you can use here is this magnet mode button. Okay, the magnet mode button will allow you to draw in such a way that you can anchor your trend lines and all that to the precise open, high, low price of your candle. Okay, instead of trying to guess where is the high, low price exactly, if you turn on magnet mode, basically your line will actually snap to the open high low prices on your candle itself. Okay, so let me just go out to a higher time frame. So normally what I do is that in order to look at significant highs and lows, I will normally go out to a higher time frame to look at a bigger picture, right? So let me just move out to the monthly candle. And I can see more significant highs and lows around here. All right, so I'm going to mark in some of them, which I think could be some resistance in the future. So example like this, the price goes up and it comes down, goes up and comes down. So around here, I can see it actually did it a number of times. Okay, so this could be some significant area that I want to mark on my chart so that if the price goes near there again, I can be aware of it, that there's a potential possibility that it might actually turn around. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm going to add in a horizontal line. So the line tools are the first one. This one shows a trend line, but you can see there's a little arrow that you can click on, which allows you to choose other tools. Okay, so I'm going to choose a horizontal line, and I'm going to move my cursor to mark the area where I want to have my line drawn. So let me say I mark here. Okay, and you can see the horizontal line appears, right? And straight away you will have the configuration toolbar that is here to allow you to configure the trend line properties, right? The first thing you can change, of course, is the color. So let me change to this brighter one. You can also change things like the thickness of your line as well. So if you change this to a thicker line, okay? And you can even change the type of line. So this is a solid line. You can of course change it to dotted line, and you can also change it to a dashed line. All right, so just going to change it back to the solid line as well. Okay, and then after that, there's further configuration. If you want to do deeper configuration of your line, you can click on the gear button. And what can you do with this deeper type of configuration? Okay, so for example, I not only want to draw a line, but also want to put in some text on the line so that I can remind myself why is it that the line I drawn in the first place. Okay, sometimes you draw lines on your chart, then after like 1 or 2 months later, you come back to your chart, you're not very sure exactly what's the meaning of this line, especially if you have new prices updated onto your chart. So you're not very sure, hey, how come this line is here? What does it actually mean? So one way to make it easier for you to remember is to actually type some text to give the line some meaning. So example, I can say that this is the resistance area from just put a date, example, like here, all the way back from 2017 in August. Okay, so from August 2017. All right, 2017. And you can click OK. Okay, you can also say where the text will display. So I'm going to put it at the bottom right. Okay, bottom right. So you can see that it's appearing there under here. I can make it bold. I can increase the font size if I want. Okay, I can click OK. Right. So when you click OK, you can move your chart and you can see that there's a little line plus the text. So you can actually write your notes here so that you can remember what exactly the line is meant for. Okay, you can also add in support lines as well. So you can add, like, for example, here there's some support lines or even the most recent one, which is somewhere around here. So let me just put in another horizontal line somewhere here to indicate the one. Okay, so here you need to change the text. Okay, again, you go back to the configuration toolbar and you type here support area instead of resistance. Support means that the price has gone down and then bounce off and go up after it hit the line or close to the line, the price. Right, so this is the support area from March of 2020, okay, which is the start of our pandemic. Okay, March 2020. Okay, so that's here. Okay, so you can zoom in, zoom out. Okay, next you can go back to your lower time frame. Let's say I go back to the daily time frame, and you notice your lines are still there. Okay, if you look at your MKE trade one, the lines that you sometimes draw on your weekly charts or your doesn't really show up um, on your daily chart. Okay, but in this case for our MKE trade, okay, our lines will all show up no matter which time frame you draw them on. Okay, so that's quite useful. Okay, all your lines here, you can reactivate them or reselect them by just moving your cursor close to them and just clicking on them. So you click on the line, you show the configuration panel again. Okay, for that particular line, click the other line, you can show the other configuration panel again. Okay, to delete away the line, right, what you can do is that right, you can click on the trash can button to delete it. Okay. Right, so diagonal lines also can be drawn. So we can go and click on the line tools again and choose like a ray line. Okay, ray means a horizontal, a diagonal line that has an extension towards the right side, okay, or into the future. Okay, for this kind of diagonal lines or trend lines, you need to specify the starting and the ending points. Okay, so the starting point, let's choose here, and the ending point, maybe I can choose somewhere around here. Okay, so you have a diagonal line, right? And again, you can change the color. So let me change this to maybe to a blue color to reflect the different time frames which I draw the lines on. So purple to me, or rather this bright purple color, is a line that I drawn on a monthly chart. Okay, this cyan color is the line that I've drawn on a daily chart, just to distinguish where I draw the lines. Okay. All right, so this line is a diagonal line. So if I wanted to make it parallel, I want to make a copy of this line, and the copy that's actually parallel to this line. What I do is that I will just click on this button and clone it. Okay, so if I clone it, I will get another line, which is a mirror image of this first one. Okay, and what I can do with this line is that I can basically move it around by just grabbing it, clicking on it, and shifting it, okay, with my mouse cursor. And I can actually put it right on top. Okay, and when you put it right on top, right there, what you have effectively done is you have created a channel. Okay, you've created a channel. A channel is basically up. Now in this case, it's an uptrending channel. It is the price going up in the uptrend, but there is a range of this uptrend. Okay, there's a range of prices. Okay, upper and lower limits to the movement of prices within a range, but the price is going higher and higher. Okay, so this is some lines that you can draw. Okay, the other type of line you can draw, of course, is something known as a Fibonacci retracement line. Okay, Fibonacci retracement line, normally people use it just to see if the price starts to fall, where are the possible levels that it could possibly fall to before it starts to rebound and go higher. All right, so I'm going to just use the Fibonacci tool, and the Fibonacci tool is found under this one known as the pitchfork. Okay, the next one down below your line tools. Okay, so you click on the small little arrow and you go to Fibonacci. Okay, like trend line, you need to specify the starting point. So let me just take this value here as a start and drag it out at the ending point. Okay, the highest point the price has reached so far, and click there. Okay, and you can see that all the different Fibonacci levels will be drawn for you automatically, okay, in various colors, and you can go ahead and configure as well. Okay, so I'm going to click on the gear button, the setting button to get in, okay, and to configure it a little bit so that I can show you. All right, so first thing, I don't like to have so many colors for my line. So actually I can use just one color by clicking on the use one color here. And let me use, let's say yellow. Okay, and maybe the background I don't want to be there, so I can click it off as well. Okay, and what I want also is that I want the lines to extend into the future. Okay, so I can click on extend lines so that I can extend the lines into the future. And some of these levels maybe I want to remove as well. So example, I don't think I like 23.6, don't like 38.2. Okay, don't care for 78.6. Okay, and just have this. Okay, 50% and 0.618, 61.8%. Right, the rest of the others you can leave it there. In fact, you can even change the level itself. Okay, the number itself. If you think that the 0.5 is something that you don't like, you can change it to some other number. Okay, right. So that's how you configure. Okay, and after that you can click OK. And you can see that we have the Fibonacci here, which marks basically impulse wave going up, and there's some retracement coming down, a correction. Okay, where would the correction likely end up? Okay, so the two levels that I'm looking at is basically the 3.545 and 3.435. Okay, this level for retracement before it bounces and probably go higher. Okay, I know this stock is about is undergoing some form of corporate action, so it's unlikely that you will actually go back down there. But anyway, I'm just drawing out to show an example. All right. Okay. So this is basically the usage of our chart. So let me see some questions that have arisen so far, and let me try to answer. Outstanding positions. Okay, can we access the screen that shows outstanding position? Okay, let me just remove the chart for a while. Outstanding positions will be the portfolio. So you go to my portfolio and you look at here. Okay, so this widget is called portfolio widget, and it will show you your outstanding trades, right? So all your unrealized P&L basically reflects your holdings and the amount of profit or loss that you are showing right now. Okay, you also show you the quantity, okay, the number of stocks or shares that you have. Okay, please take note that this is a portfolio that is specific to Maybank Kim Eng only. If you had bought the shares with, say, another broker, it will not be reflected in this portfolio. Okay, so please be very careful. Right, so this is not the end all. I mean, the number, the actual share, the number of shares that shown in this portfolio widget could be actually be very different from your overall portfolio holdings. Okay, because the possibility is that you buy some with Maybank Kim Eng and you buy some others with some other broker. Okay, so at SGX under the CDP, your holdings may be actually larger, okay, than what is showing here under our portfolio widget. Okay, so please take note. Okay, I got a question here which is quite advanced. Okay, so there is a question, can I download the spreadsheet then work on the spreadsheet in Excel? Yes, you can. Okay, for example, like this portfolio widget here. Okay, all portfolio, or sorry, all widgets basically at the top, right? Especially the ones with table format like this, right? There is a title bar, and to the right side of your title bar, top right hand corner, there is a button that you can press. Okay, this one is the button that looks like a down pointing arrow into a tray. That's to download this view of your portfolio, right? So you click on this button, and what will happen is that it will prompt you to save the file onto your computer hard disk. Okay, and the file format is basically a comma separated file. Okay, comma separated value file, which you can open with your Excel. Okay, and then you can keep this as a record or as a snapshot record of your portfolio on that particular date. Right. So that is your download. Okay, so that's one done. And the summary shows the respective fees for the transaction. It's not possible. Let me check. No, it does not show the fees. Okay, but it will. You can see the the net value after fees reflected under your average price. Right. So here, and from there, possibly they can calculate what is the fee that was charged based on the price that you actually execute the trade on. Right. Okay, there are some questions related to portfolio being different from KE and MKE. Okay, the question is, what is the difference that you are mentioning? Okay. Can I key into my portfolio stocks I bought from another broker? Yes, you can. Okay, what you do is that you use your manual entry. Okay, that's I demoed just now, right? So you can do manual entry and you click new transaction. Okay, this is found under your, of course, this is found under your contract notes widget. So you go to manual entry, and after that you click new transaction, and then you type in the stock name that you bought. So example G13 Genting. Okay, then after that what you do, you click on buy, you set the date that you bought it at, the volume that you bought, that means the number of shares you bought, and the price that you bought it at, and then maybe in your notes you can put bought with so and so broker, and then after that you click OK, and this entry, this transaction will be added to your current holdings in your portfolio under MKE. Okay, so this will be the new transaction. This will be the way to add into your portfolio for stocks that you bought with another broker, or perhaps you got it because of IPO. Also, this way can be done. Okay, the next one, can I change the color of your candlesticks? Yes, I already showed you, I think. Okay, so your candlesticks charts, right? So if I were to open up again, right, you can go to this one with the gear, chart properties, click, and then here is where you change your candle colors. Okay. Any alerts for the chart? No, there's no alerts on your chart. There's no alerts on your chart for this. You can use the quotation alerts to help you if it's a price related type. Okay, does the chart show volume number? Yes, because you can add in the volume indicator. Okay, So just add in the volume indicator, it will display at the bottom of your chart. Okay, and then it will also show you the volume number. Okay, so example, as you move your cursor, it will show you the volume for that particular day. Okay, right. Okay, you can see it here on your display next to your indicator. Okay, so there are two parts to this indicator. The first one is that is the volume bar itself, and the second part is a moving average of volume. Okay, so the orange line on my display is actually the moving average of the volume, and it's actually a 20-day moving average of the volume. Okay, so that is what you can see. Will bonus issue be automatically into the portfolio? Corporate action, I don't believe will be reflected. No. Can a total be added to my unrealized P&L? The unrealized P&L is already the total of your holdings. So I'm not too sure what do you mean by your question. When click on my portfolio, it shows only total portfolio. Do I need to import from Add Richard? Total portfolio. Let me see. As in, what portfolio are you searching for? I can't quite understand your question either. So this is the portfolio widget which you can show. Okay, it shows all your entire holdings based on your account number, which is here. Okay, so you change account number, of course, it will show a different account. Yeah. Okay. All right. Is there any other questions that you may have? Okay, I realize that there are some issues with the portfolio and all that. Maybank Kim is actually in the midst of actually trying to fix some of these problems. If you have any other questions, feel free to approach your TR. That's the first thing. If the TR is not able to help you, then you can actually approach the help desk, okay, to make it official that you have a question, and they most likely will get back to you. In fact, they should get back to you as soon as they can. All right. So we kind of come to the end of the session.